So now we'll be moving towards part 2 of the same topic. Now we'll be talking about ordinal or indifference curve analysis. Now ordinal means, now over here comes ranking, which we have talked about earlier as well. So it was given by Hicks and Allens. So you just need to know it. It's not that it's very important or something like that. It's not like that. You just need to know it was given by Hicks and Allens. Here the consumer will be ranking his preference by these two goods. He has got two goods and he'll be ranking the preference. On which preference does he want? Which good does he want? So he'll be preferring his goods. So indifference curve is a downward sloping curve, like you can see over here, A, B, C and D. So let's see this at point A. What can we see? So at point A, combination B, combination C and combination D we have taken. Let's say combination A at this point, he was consuming 5 units of Y and 1 unit of X. So in order to purchase another unit of X, that is at point A, this one, let's say that is 2, what does he need to do? He needs to decrease something of Y, let's say 4. So we know that indifference curve, what happens, in order to purchase another unit of X, he has to give us something of this Y. So in that way indifference curve works. So we have just written down, you just need to read it. After that, over here margin rate of substitution follows. Now what is margin rate of substitution? We are to continuously talking about various kinds of laws in cardinal as well. Now over here, margin rate of substitution. Now don't get confused between cardinal and ordinal. Cardinal, law of diminishing marginal utility, and equimarginal utility, which we need to know. And over here you need to know it is marginal rate of substitution. Substitution means, we know substitute goods. I think you still remember about substitute goods, something about substitute goods. So replacing, we know substitute means replacing. So marginal substitution follows, which states that the consumer is willing to substitute one good for another without changing the level of satisfaction. So if we changes from one good to another without changing the level of satisfaction, this is very important point, without changing the level of satisfaction. So we have just drawn a schedule over here showing the various combination for indifference curve. So I have taken good Y and good X, and MRS over here. MRS, you need to know the formula, that is change in Y upon change in X. So how will you calculate it? 6 minus 10, 2 minus 1, you'll be getting this 4 MRS, 3 and 2. Now the points to be noted over here is the sacrificing rate. So for every additional unit of X, how much did he sacrifice? From 1 to 2, he sacrificed 4 units of good Y. Likewise 6 to 3, he sacrificed 3 units of Y in order to purchase 1 unit. So why is this 4 not constant everywhere? Why not 4 4 4 4? That's the question. Why? Because let's talk about it over here. Why it is declining slowly? So let's say Y is banana and X is apple. So consumer is consuming 10 units and 1 apple at first. So after that he consumed 6 units of banana and second unit of apple he got. So over here, how much did he sacrifice for 1 unit of apple? He sacrificed his 4 units of banana. So he was ready to give 4 units of bananas in order to purchase 1 unit of apple, because apple at that time he was getting much more satisfaction from that apple. Likewise, let's say from 6 to 3. So 6 to 3, 3 units is sacrificing for another unit of apple. Now why is that happening? Why is he sacrificing only 3? Because the satisfaction which he is receiving from this apple now is not ready to give up 4 units of bananas. Earlier he was ready to give 4 units of bananas, which we can see over here for every another unit. Earlier he was ready to give 4 units of bananas, which we can see over here for every another unit of apple. But as his satisfaction is getting fulfilled, now he is not getting the same satisfaction from the apple. So that's why he is now less willing to sacrifice of this banana. Likewise over here 3 to 1, which you have seen, 2 units only he sacrifices for another. So this sacrificing rate goes on declining. Why? Because his satisfaction is getting fulfilled. Now he doesn't want that same product because it's not the same satisfaction which he was getting earlier. So that's the reason. So you can just go through it, whichever whatever I have written it. Now after that, what we need to know is budget. So now comes indifference map. Now what is indifference map? It is a sets of indifference curve jointly together, like what we have seen over here, IC1, IC2 and IC3. Like over here, IC1, IC2 and IC3. So these three forms indifference maps. So they can be various indifference curve in a, and the sets of those indifference curve we term that as the indifference map. So the definition is over here. Now we'll be talking about the properties of indifference curve. This is very important topic for you all, important thing. So the first property is higher the indifference curve, higher will be the satisfaction. So we know that IC1 and IC2 is there. So higher the indifference curve. So if the indifference curve is over here and another indifference curve over here, so higher the indifference curve, higher will be the satisfaction. Like for example, see this at point A and point B. So at point A, let's say this is 10, this is 20, this is 1 and this is 2. So at point B, how much unit of commodity you are having? 20 units of Y and 2 units of X. Likewise at point A, 10 and 1. So where you are getting more commodity? In the this one over here. In second IC2 at point B, you're getting more satisfaction. So higher the indifference curve, higher will be the satisfaction. That I've just described it over here. So talking about next property, that is two ICs never intersect each other. So we know that indifference curve is like this. So the two indifference curve IC1 and IC2, they never intersect each other. That's the second property. Like if I say you, if the two indifference curve intersect and they go like this, let's say. So over here I'm getting the same level of satisfaction by this indifference curve 1 as well as indifference curve 2. So they should not ever intersect each other. That I have explained it over here. You can just go through it. Another one, IC is convex to the origin. This one I have discussed it earlier also. Because of margin rate of substitution, what happens? Like see, a consumer is ready to substitute or sacrifice lesser and lesser as he goes on increasing the second unit, another commodity. So this is because of diminishing margin rate of substitution. What is diminishing margin rate of substitution is? It is like like what happened in diminishing marginal utility. If you remember, the same theory is applied over here. In case of diminishing margin rate of substitution, he is willing to substitute lesser and lesser of one commodity in order to purchase another commodity. I think last time you remember 10 bananas, 6 bananas. So he's reducing lesser and lesser. That is called diminishing margin rate of substitution. Just go through this one. And last one is IC curve is downward sloping from left to right. This one I think it's clear. The reason behind it is due to MRS. So you basically need to know the reason why it is like that. So from here, before moving forward, you should be knowing what is MRS. This is very important. Budget line. Now budget, I think everyone is familiar with the term budget. Budget means money which the consumer has to purchase goods. So over here the consumer is given, I've just highlighted over here, purchased budget or income prices of two commodities. That's the highlighting point I've just given to you, which you need to know. Over, let's see the example over here. The income of a consumer is 200. He's giving two commodities, apple and mango. The price of apple is 40, price of mango is 20. So if a consumer consumes 5 unit of apple, 5 into 40 and 0 unit of mango. Why 0? Because he doesn't have money left, so that is giving him 200. His money is getting over when he consumes maximum unit of apple. When he consumes 5, that is maximum unit of apple, he has to consume 0 unit of mango. That time his income is getting over. He doesn't have any income left. He has that combination So another combination he can either use is when he consumes 4 units of apple and 2 units of mango. So 4 into 40 and 2 into 20 is again giving 200. His either ways his budget has to reach. That's the condition over here. So just follow the table, and I've just drawn this budget line. After this, let's talk more about budget line. So the thing to be noted over here about budget line is, see, slope of budget line is very necessary. These all things from here till here, just for your understanding I'm doing it. You just need to know only this much. So if I use a formula that is m upon py, this one, where m is money, py is price of y. So let's take a commodity, earlier one commodity, apple, as y. So what was the price of apple? Price of apple was, if you remember, it was 40 rupees, from 40 rupees. And what is the price of mango? What is the price of mango that we took? The price of mango which we took was 20. So the thing to be noted is m means money. That was 200 which we had in the earlier diagram I just showed you. Earlier schedule, I've taken the income to be 200, price of apple units, and maximum unit of x is also 10 units. Now let's go back to the same topic which we did. Like, see, over here also maximum. What was the maximum? Is using this formula also. Maximum 5 and maximum of mango was 10. See, so either ways we are getting the same thing. So now we got again the x also you got it, y also you got it, that is 10 and 5. So after that, y upon x, we'll just combine the two formulas, that is m upon py and m upon mx. So cross multiplying it, we are left with px and py. So that is the slope of budget line. That's how this px and py comes from here. This is the only thing which you need to know. So before moving forward, mrs is equals to change in y upon change in x, and slope of budget line is px upon py. Px means price of x, py means price of y. Main question that is asked to you frequently in IC. So moving forward, let's talk about the condition which is very much necessary to do the thing to show the equilibrium is mrs, that is change in x upon change in y upon change in x, must be equals to px upon py. That's the first condition. That is called point of tangency. I'll show you what is tangency later on. So it should be indifference curve should be equals to budget line. So what does this say? Change in y upon change in x is equals to px upon py. This is the main condition which needs to be fulfilled. Another condition is IC should be convex to the origin. Now what is convex? Convex, I have told you what is a convex. Like this is convex, the bulging part over here, this is convex. So here I have drawn the three IC curves, IC1, IC2 and IC3. Make sure your diagram is drawn in this way as well. So I have drawn various ICs, IC1, IC2 and IC3. So at point K and B, let's see IC1 and let's take K and B. So at these 2 points we are seeing the first criteria being fulfilled, that is this MRS is equals to budget line, isn't it? K and this. But we don't take this line. Why? Because a second condition is not being fulfilled. It has to be convex to the origin. Is these two convex to the origin? Is these two convex to the origin? Budget line, isn't it? K and this. But we don't take this line. Why? Because a second condition is not being fulfilled. It has to be convex to the origin. Is these two convex to the origin? Is these two convex to the origin? No, these two are not convex to the origin. So that's why we don't take IC1. Also because we know that higher the indifference curve, higher will be the satisfaction. That's why we don't take IC1. Likewise, let's see IC2. IC2, let's see at point T. At point T, what is happening? IC curve is touching the budget line. So my first condition is being fulfilled, that is MRS XY is equals to PX and PY. This one, it's fulfilled. Another one, it must be convex. So see, convex is also fulfilled. So both the condition is being fulfilled at IC2. So at point T, there's an equilibrium, which you need to write it. I'm just explaining to you. Everything is written down over here. If you just go through it, you'll be understanding it. Now let's talk about IC3 as well. We don't take IC3. Why? Because it is above our budget. So our budget is over here, IC3 is over here, so we can't reach this much. So we can't reach over here because our budget is restraining us. So I've told you what is tangency point. Let's talk about tangency point. I'll just say you in briefly what is tangency point. So let's say a arc and this curve. So this point over here, this is your tangency point. So where did you see tangency point? See, tangency point is over here, tangency point. So that is tangency point actually. After this, everything is well written over here. You can just go through it, you can read it. You just read it, you'll be understanding everything whatever I have explained to you.